For Coach.
I'll tell you, let me start before we open up the question. Just 99,000 people. I think I heard that over the PA system. Not surprised, but extremely grateful to come watch a scrimmage. At times not a very pleasant scrimmage. And we grab a hand after each time we come in the stadium. And we're very grateful for the blessings to be able to play this great game. That's the first thing. Second thing, where we play it, and that's the Ohio State University that had, I imagine it has to be some kind of record, and then who we do it with, which is most importantly. And then I was asked by I think the Big Ten Network right after the scrimmage saying, how did we improve as a team? I think Lisa asked me that question. The answer is, and I just told our players this, we did not improve as a team. That was not a good team out there. So we did not improve as a team, and very rarely, if you're fortunate to be healthy, and last year I did because we were so young. I felt like we got better as a team because we weren't very good, but you saw them getting better as a team. As a team, that's much worse than what you saw in January, obviously. But we did individually get better. And some of the names off the top, Billy Price is playing outstanding football for us right now. Chase Ferris has earned his way. He's a starting right tackle at Ohio State. Billy Price is night and day what he was a year ago. Bronte Dunn has earned a right to contribute to the Buckeyes next year. Sam Hubbard is going to be in the rotation. Worley, I thought, played outstanding today. Has had a very good spring. Noah Brown has had an excellent spring, made some plays today. Garion Conley is penciled in now. We're going to make that call to his family and say, your son has earned a right to start at the Ohio State. And Tommy Shutt, this guy's had very good spring. So those are some of the individuals out the top of my head. In the fourth quarter, I started writing some names down. So we did improve individually, but we did not improve as a team. So here's the dilemma. And you can tell my mind's spinning here a little bit. How do we get better as a team after we get them out of here for a couple weeks, whether it be team functions or, we got to wrap our, because this is a critical off season for us. This is really critical because, like I said, we did not improve. No, it's no one's fault. How do you get better as a team when half your team is not playing? And it's because of injury, or it's because of 2000 Club, because the head coach made a decision not to rep out some guys that had, 2,000 competitive reps. So that's going to be interesting to watch the Buckeyes this summer, and how they handle themselves, how they behave, how they train, and then how they come together as a team, because that team's got to get much better by the time Coach Mick hands me the team like he does every summer. So I'll answer some questions.
Far left, Doug.
Urban, as you talk about this, lots of times you'll sort of maybe give us a grade on things or how you view things. Like overall for spring, like what grade would you give this team for 15 spring practices?
What's I'd rather go individually, because and that's kind of what I just did, but as a team, it was an interesting. I don't know if I've had a spring like this one, and I do feel good because we're going to be at full strength. Now, there's not some stupid injury that all of a sudden you're like, why did you do that? And I've been in that situation, like, why did that just happen? And you're just sick to your stomach all. The other name is Tyquan Lewis. He's a guy that's earned, he's penciled in to be in the rotation along with Sam Hubbard. But so I would say on that end, right decision. Now we got to somehow, this is really a valuable next few months.
You always talk for a game like this, you want to see young guys when they get into a big state. What do you really look for? How do you sort of tell that a young guy can handle it?
Great question. Paris Campbell is a great example. I had to make Paris Campbell. I called him, and here's a kid that just turned 17 years old. He's about to hyperventilate, and he's really not. He's fine. And I grab him, and I need you to win the game right here. I need you to score. I was like on the 4-yard line, and if he kind of looked at me like, the heck with this, man, or he took the ball, he put his left foot in the ground, and he dove in, and made a great cut and scored. And I saw his celebration in the end zone. That's one I remember from the spring game. That's going to help him get in the rotation. That's just an example. Other example, I asked a couple guys to make a play, and they didn't do it. Now I got to find out why when I meet with them next week, and just get into the psychological impact that playing in the stadium has on a player.
Back row right, one question each, please.
Yeah, Steve. Coach, Cardale, does that kind of fall along the lines of what you're talking about? When he was dialed in, he was moving his team up and down the field, but in a typical game, you're not going to throw 12 bombs like that. I mean. Yeah,
that wasn't a Cardale day. He played behind a makeshift offensive line. So I can give you a bunch of excuses, but he's got to be much sharper than that. For the spring, I'd give him a very good spring, though. You didn't necessarily see it today.
Front row left, Rusty.
Is there an area in particular that really has to make strides in the summertime? I mean, running backs, obviously without Ezekiel, that hurts you a lot, but is there a particular area
Well, running backs are, I took the top 2 running backs from last year, very good players who didn't play running back this spring. Bronte Dunn has kind of solidified that, so I feel good about 3 of them right now. You got Mike Weber showing up here pretty soon too, which is still, you need 4. You need 4 running backs. The area is offensive line. That's the problem. And once again, not the starters, because I feel good once that front 5's in there. I feel, it's that whole and line. Everybody reminds me because we're very impatient. We would have said that about Billy Price's first year. We would have said that about Taylor Decker's first year. So they need time to develop. But I'm very alarmed by the second group of offensive linemen right now.
Front row, Todd.
These guys are going to leave here in a couple weeks. You're going to go through player evaluations. After all that, how much time will you spend thinking about the decision that you have to make sometime in August about who your quarterback is going to be?
I won't spend much time at all about that, other than making sure Braxton's getting the proper treatments and JT Barrett's moving forward. And then how we're going to work the summer as far as those kids throwing together. And I am not going to say how am I going to. The one thing I will do, to answer your question, I think you're heading there, is I'm going to come up with some kind of system throughout training camp that we're going to chart everything that everyone does. And we've kind of done it, but not to the degree that we're going to do it this year. Because you have to be right on now. This can't be, I'm going with him because it's my gut feeling. Those gut feelings it's got to be statistical analysis and data backed up on who's going to play quarterback.
Okay, we have time just for a couple more because I want you to get some players. Back row, Pat.
Urban, with the quarterback situation, do you give them marching orders into the offseason, work on this, this, and this, and what would those orders be?
Oh, Tim Beck is a quarterback coach. He'll be more specific about what fundamentals to work on. Once again, Braxton is get healthy, and but we'll do we do compartmental throwing with groups. So, for example, JT will kind of coach him up. So you take a certain group of receivers and work on this, and it's going to be more compartmental improvement. And then Coach Beck will handle the individual improvement, technique improvement.
And final questions, Tim?
Yeah, Urban, just 2 quickies. Number 1, following up on what you just said about the QBs, is it so they will know where they stand day to day too? I mean,
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise?
Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of people interested.
Yeah.
I know you guys, but the families and the player are much more. I want to be able to look those people in the eye and say, here's where we're at, and not be a shocker when it happens.
Yeah.
But here's what you need to do to get better, and here's where we're at, and keep pushing.
And the other thing, Nick Connor made some plays out there today.
Yeah, he's good.
Are you? Name me a couple of those young guys that maybe jumped out at you. I know you named the guys, but are some guys kind of surprised you this spring? Obviously, he's an early enrollee and stuff.
Yeah, he was good. We had high expectation for him, though. I hope he does a red shirt and gets involved in kicking game. But he had a good day today. He's a tough guy that plays hard. That's a good qualities to have. Thank you.